Howdy folks, and welcome back to another episode of Cranky Conrods. Well, today we're going to be going back and having a look at this 2007 Ford Mondeo. The 130 PS, 96 kilowatts, all that sort of thing. The same engine that's in the Ford Transit, the Jaguar X-Type, and obviously the Ford Mondeo. So basically what had happened was I got a bit of slack for leaving it like I did with it smoking, but folks, what you got to remember was that was only on startup. It was fine once it was hot, and all the leak offs on the injectors were a-okay. So at the end of the day, you know, I was still left a bit confused until somebody actually reached out to me and pointed out that, you know, I kind of made a bit of a boo-boo, which, you know, we are all still learning, even later in life, and still learning stuff about cars. Now, I failed to mention, and I failed to know, shall we call it, that the engine number is on your VIN number of your Ford Mondeos, or probably most Fords to be honest, and second of all, the injectors are to that Pacific ECU. Now, I didn't know this, people that I speak to didn't know this, so I want to give that person a massive shout out, because obviously you watch the channel, or you've been watching the channel, but I want to give you a special thanks. So, moving on, and getting on with the video. So yeah, the technical parts of what we were doing is we've done a leak off test and everything else, and the car came back with hardly any leak off. So the only thing I could think of was our running issue was due down to the injectors. So now I knew about the engine codes being on the injectors, I managed to source a set of BB injectors for the Ford Mondeo that is going to be in the video, and folks, the transformation was night and day. That's all I'm going to say. So get in, watch the video, and I hope you enjoy it. So if I could get you guys to, you know, hit that like and subscribe and all that wonderful cool stuff, and that just keeps me, you know, hands dirty and wrenching really, to show you guys exactly what it is that we need to be doing. Right folks, so as you can see, we're back on the old Ford Mondeo, and this is the same Mondeo that was we done the injectors on, and I did receive quite a bit of stick about it, and a bit of flack about the amount of smoke it was emitting, and thinking it must be, you know, was that acceptable for, you know, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to rectify that today and come in, and we're going to take the injectors all out. We're going to check them, do bleed offs, and basically we're going to check the engine numbers on them, because little did I know, and I owe everybody an apology on this one, that the engine number is actually on the injectors. So we're going to go in and have a look, see what injectors are in here, what numbers are on them, what engine codes are on these injectors, because somebody did email and tell me, and I looked into it, and yes, they're 100% correct. So thanks and top tips to them. And it's alright, the clown of the factory is just gone and put his hands in a prickle bush, which is quite amusing. But yeah, like I said, we're just going to dive into here, like the same process, 17mm and our injector sockets, get all the injectors out, and go from there really. Right folks, so I'm going to draw you onto these injectors now, and somebody did, as I said, and you know, give them credit for it, they pointed out that on the injector, if you zoom in onto that, you'll see that there's a BD on that injector, and this injector is a 504Z. Now, when I looked at the VIN number on the car, because he also pointed that out, that the 8th and 9th digit on your VIN number and your windscreen is your engine code, and on this particular Mondeo is a BB engine code. Now, if I went back through all our stash of goodies and injectors, I've managed to find See, this one doesn't have, it's just a remanufactured number with its injector code. Well, we don't know whether that's for a Ford Transit, a Jaguar, or what it's for. So, in my opinion, they are junk if they turn up looking like that. And we now have, just here, look, our engine code, which is BB on this injector. And this particular injector is a 501Z. So this injector is basically what's for the ECU on this vehicle. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 501Zs in, the BB for code on it, and hopefully we're going to eliminate this smoking issue on startup and the misfire. So fingers crossed, let's find out. So I'm going to bring you in because I'm not going to show you the repeat process of what we've done. We've took the bleed offs off. We've taken all the 17 mils off the tops of the injectors and just cracked them off here. And what we're going to do is just going to get the injectors out now and see what engine code's on them. Now I'm pretty certain on these injectors there's going to be 504Zs because I think that's what I said in the last video. And I'll go into all the boffin talk in a minute once we get these out and showed you guys what we got in here. Right folks, so you join me back with the injectors out. Now if you zoom in on down in on number 3 there, look, a bit further, there you go, you will see that the injector has actually separated. So what we're going to have to do is clean up the injector that came out of it and hopefully reattach this part of the injector, because it's separated just here. Look, this has got another thread on the injector just behind underneath here. I'll put my tongue back in for you folks. And basically the collar that holds the nozzle in has come unscrewed. So what we're going to have to do is basically try and get this back out of there and find out why that this part has stayed in the head. But nonetheless, we'll get there and get you guys caught up. And the other thing is, you see how this one has a BD on the injector there, look. So that's a BD engine code, which is not ours. Now basically what that is, from what I can read and find out about the BDs, the BBs, the AH, the AOs and all that lot, it's all down to the coding to the computers. And even though your injector number is this nice long one at the top here, and yes it will take the codings and yes it will run, but you could have a slight hesitation, a slight miss, you could have a little bit of smoke when you accelerate, it could be, there's a lot of things behind it. There's quite a bit of wizardry behind it. So when you're ordering your injectors, make sure that you make perfectly sure that your engine code is actually on the injectors. So that would eliminate anything, you know, that could be wrong with your injectors, hesitations and all that lot. So we're just going to get on now and get this third injector out of the hole, and we'll get you guys caught up. Right folks, so you're going to join me here after the aftermath, after we got the tip out eventually. And what happened was the crush washer on the end here had literally broke or cracked or done something, and the slight misfire we were getting was low compression in number 3 cylinder, and this here was all full of carbon. It was locked solid, and all up parts of the shaft here into the oil chamber and everything else, which is probably what our blue smoke was and stuff like that. But as I left it, we left it with this part inside the head. Now, how we got this out was by hammer action, but you can't do that with this thread on. So what we done, because obviously, you know, injectors now these days and everything else, we ain't got a surcharge, nothing on these ones, thank God. We went ahead and ground off the threads, so that allowed me to put a hammer actor, so I could slide hammer the top of the injector, and that pulled the injector straight out with the nozzle. Which was, you know, lucky, because obviously if this bit still didn't come out, or these threads here had given out, you'd be having a specialist come in to drill all this out, or worse, taking the head off, and you're going to be in a massive world of hurt. Right, so as you can see, we kind of got a bit creative, and big hands went ahead and cut a sliced bit of bar, put a bit of sandpaper in to turn it into like a bore cleaner. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to clean all the bores out in here, because down inside here is all full of carbon and snot and everything in the threads. So what I'll do is I'll show you guys. See, this is very simple. Clean it up. So all you're doing is just cleaning it up, nice and nice. And as you can see, look, the absolute crud that's on there. So we're going to do that a little bit more, and I'll show you guys how we got the injector out in just a minute. Right folks, so moving along quite rapidly because time is pressing on, and we put all the injectors back in and everything. If you go ahead and start them up, start them up. Stop trying to land an aeroplane and start them up.
1, 2, 3.
And there you go folks, for all you haters that saw me leaving it with smoke bellowing out the exhaust, purrs like a kitten again, once more. So you can stop hating me now for leaving it, but when I left it, it was on a -3-degree day. So there we go, runs and sweets and that again, once more. Right folks, so we're going to call that a wrap on this video for today, because my side of the face is absolutely stinging. I don't know if I've had a reaction to something or what it is, but it has gone down a little bit and it's burning and it's, you know, it's horrible. So if I could just get you guys to you know, hit that like and subscribe, because that seriously helps out with the channel and tells YouTube that we are a good channel and you enjoy watching us. So I'm going to say it from me folks, because it's absolutely stinging like hell, is much love from me, and peace out.